What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking all about what attachments and grips you should run on your guns in Rainbow Six Siege for Operation Deadly Omen. So there's been a lot of attachment changes, so we are going to go through every single one today and talking about what they do and what you should actually run. So let's get to it. So let's go through some of the basics. So iron sights are going to be, you're going to have 10% increase to your ADS speed, which is pretty good. The 1X's non-magnifying are going to have 5% increased ADS speed, and magnified, the ACOGs and everything, are only going to have 0. So that's starting. Barrels, flash shatter reduces your recoil while shooting. Compensator reduces horizontal recoil, aka when you're full auto, your recoil is going to be a little bit lower. Muzzle brake, single shots, the kick isn't going to be super high, but when you go full auto, it's going to be worse than the other two. And suppressor, you can't really see the bullet trails very easily. Grips, so horizontal grip, you have a 5% increase to movement speed. Vertical grip, you're going to have a 20% reduction to vertical recoil, which is insane. Angled grip is going to make you reload faster by 20%. Now let's talk about what these actually do. So we're going to start with iron sights and compare the ADS speed between the scopes. ADS speed is still really slow. Every gun in the game has had their ADS speed increased by quite a bit. So you do need to keep that in mind, that everything is going to be fairly slow. So let's go to Hollow A by itself. It's slightly slower, but honestly, you won't be able to tell much. And
sure, take a
the
breath.
dot on Hollow A
No
is a little bit bigger. And then you have the magnified. Let's go with this. And you're going to have just even slightly slower. So you see a little bit of a difference between this and the iron sights in terms of ADS speed. It is 10% slower, but you know, you don't have that zoom. Okay, now let's go through the grips. So 5% movement speed increase. Let's talk about that really quick. So here's movement speed, normal walk, normal sprint, ADS speed. All right. Now let's go to the grip. So we're gonna be talking about what these all do, and even if they're even good, and if you should even run them. So now you got normal walk. I noticed a little bit of an increase. Normal sprint. Normal ADS. Definitely a little bit faster, but it is only a 5% increase. So you're not gonna notice it too much throughout a round, but you know, definitely makes the recoil a little bit more because you don't have that vertical grip. So vertical grip, I definitely think is the strongest option for me because the recoil control is going to be a lot easier. Okay, let me try to beam this with the grip. Just without, let's go to 20. This is with, yeah, okay. So that's that. Now let's go to horizontal grip with 5% movement increase. It's not going to do anything in an actual gunfight, but I'd have to pull a lot harder, but the vertical grip really is just controlling the vertical recoil. Then angled grip, I mean, I can show you angled grip. I mean, reload speed. Same as the horizontal grip. Reload speed though, 20% faster. I mean, you kind of notice it. The thing I don't like about that is, like, a lot of times you won't even get a chance to reload. You either win the firefight or you die. Oh, you can notice that. Yeah, you can definitely notice the reload speed there. By the time I'm reloading, I want to make sure that my shots hit true and they're dead, right? Like, I want a gun that I can reliably hit on the money with my first mag and not worry about reloading afterwards. So that's the grips. So all in all, horizontal grip, maybe if you're running a gun that has barely any recoil and you just want to get up in there fast and you plan on moving around a lot, vertical grip is going to be the tried and true go-to for most people. I mean, it's good. It's been tested. You know, it's a good grip. It was lowered from 25% vertical reduction to 20%, so that is something. Angle grip, reload speed. I think that we can all kind of look past this. That's all they do. All right. Barrels. So you have flash hitter, compensator, muzzle, suppressor. You also have laser. Laser increases your ADS speed by 10%. So let's talk about lasers first. So let's go to, so this is the ADS speed with magnified, without a laser. Now let's go to iron sights with a laser. I definitely noticed the change by just adding the laser. Versus not having anything. I mean, just this. It's a slight increase. But the problem with the laser, this is for every person to like kind of think about. 10% increase ADS speed, sure, it's not bad. But then you also have to worry about the laser placement when you're like holding angles and whatever, because it can give you away. So like when you're holding angles, like a lot of times I like to hold an angle like this. With a laser, I might have to do it like this so they can't actually see my laser. And then I just have to swing out with them. And I'm already ADS anyways. The laser is more like if I plan on getting up in the action. So a laser with like the movement speed increase might not be bad because you plan on ADSing quickly and you want to get in the fight very fast. So could be a good option. So let's go to the barrels now. Let me just use the normal 1X for this. So we're gonna start with no barrel. Okay, well, I wanted the I wanted that on it. No laser. Okay, no laser. Sorry, no barrel. With laser. Sorry, with the flash hitter. It's a lot better. I was wondering why my recoil was so bad with the ACOG, because I didn't have the flash hitter on. It's a lot more usable with the flash hitter on. So that helps out a lot. Compensator is for the full auto, so the difference between that and the flash hitter is the first flash hitter is going to help you the first couple shots. Compensator, it's not going to give you any help after the first shot, but when you go full auto, it's going to be more of a beam. But I've always found it being fairly inconsistent with some guns. But it can be good. Some people can make that work. If you plan on full autoing a lot, maybe with like an LMG or something. Muzzle brake. The first kick is going to be a lot more reduced than anything else. Like look at that first kick compared to the compensator. But then the full auto goes into the worst of all three. So if you're a tap fire player, your recoil could actually be pretty good with the muzzle brake. Might not be a bad thing. And then the suppressor, does absolutely nothing to help with recoil, but your gun is silenced, so you can shoot through walls. They won't see the bullet tracers, so that's why a lot of people will run these. I strongly suggest that if you're going to run a suppressor, do not run an ACOG as well on a gun you can't control, because I'll see a lot of players running around with ACOGs with suppressors and not using a vertical grip, and they're just shooting like this. So just be mindful of that. So what is the best attachment to use on any individual operator? Well, it really depends on how you plan on playing. As an attacker, you can run a 1X or an ACOG, which is, you know, it depends on how you want to play. The 1X is going to be really good for the close range engagements, but the long range engagements, unless you're like, you know, really know what you're looking at, it might be harder to take those fights. The ACOG is going to be really good for those long range engagements, but if someone swings you up close, it's going to be a little iffy. So most attackers, I think, could get away with an ACOG or could get away with the 1X. It really depends on your play style. If you plan on playing pixels and playing a little bit more passive, waiting for people to swing you, ACOG might be your best bet. But if you're the guy that likes to like get up in there and like punch in, 1X might be the best option for you. Defenders, honestly, is so how I feel about the current meta. I think that if you can run an ACOG, you should. Defenders are all about waiting for the attackers to actually come inside the building and deal with them. So ACOGs are always going to be a lot better on defense than attack. I think that the way they tried to balance the game, they try to make it so, you know, it's less TDM-y, but I think that they did the opposite for defenders. It made them a lot better. Like here, I'll show you what I run on Thorn. Like, ACOG on this gun is insane. I've gotten so many clips of this already. And it's a little bouncy, don't get me wrong, but ACOG on this is just insane. So defenders, if you can run an ACOG, I'd suggest at least trying it. See how it works. But when it comes to, like, we didn't talk about extended barrels because there are extended barrels too much. But this just increases the damage. If you feel like your gun, like someone's killing you and they have like a sliver of health and you know you put shots on them, extended barrel might add that extra bit of damage that actually might finish them off. Operators I'd run extended barrel on are like operators like Frost, where I'm gonna be playing near sight. I'm gonna be, you know, they're gonna probably know where I'm at. I'm not really trying to hide myself. Operator like Frost, I would run a suppressor or an extended barrel, but I suggest running the extended barrel just because that extra damage increase is pretty nice. This is the extra damage it does. Operator like Castle. I also prefer this ACOG. I don't like the 1.5. It kind of throws me off a little bit. You can run an extended barrel, let's say.
Some traffic in here today.
This makes the gun feel more usable at range. You can go for any type of shot you want because it just does that extra little bit of damage. You can actually take on and maybe out DPS some of the attackers. Honestly, the attachments are all up to you. But my biggest rule of thumb for most attachments is flash hider, vertical grip. You're never going to go wrong with a flash hider and a vertical grip. If you want to play around with other things like horizontal grip, you need to make sure that everything else is, you know, getting you ready for that. So let's say I want to play an operator like Ash, R4C. I want to have a 1X. Let's go laser, and I want a horizontal grip. I want to be fast, I want to be aggressive, and I really want to get the jump on them. So flash hider, I can run the suppressor because I want to get the jump on them, and I don't want them to know I'm coming.
Mission details are always confidential.
So yeah, 20 meters is going to be a little bit tough, but I mean 10 meters, you'll be mostly fine. And that extra speed increase, I mean, Ash, bro. Sheesh. I have the laser because I plan on going in hard. So I can ADS as fast as I possibly can, which will increase my reaction speed. So again, attachments to maybe try. Suppressor. Compensator if it's up to, if you want, like on a gun like the LMG or whatever, which we can try right now actually. We'll come back to that in a second. So one thing I found is LMGs are actually kind of insane. I like the flash hider because the first couple shots get a little out of control. And I like the vertical grip because I want this thing to be good to go. ASPD is pretty slow, but this thing is honestly kind of insane. LMG meta is back? Maybe. Yeah, so talking about what you should run. You can't really go wrong with any of the 1Xs. I prefer Holloway. It's up to you. Iron sights on some guns, like the shotguns, highly suggest running iron sights on shotguns. It makes your ADS speed slightly faster. Definitely going to matter. If you want to try to run on Bandit or something like that, you might be able to get away with that. Most of the time, I'll just be running a Holloway. Magnified if I really plan on choosing to play a more passive role. Think about how you plan on playing that round to choose between a hollow or a magnified. Barrels, most of the time I am just be rocking a flash hider because I just think the recoil control on flash hider is superior to all the other ones. Extended barrel, sometimes, not on guns that have crazy recoil because you are going to regret it. You're going to regret it. But, you know, a gun that you might run a suppressor on, extended barrel, you know, neither of these control recoil, so it's not really going to make a difference, but it could make a difference in terms of the damage. If you don't plan on really being super sneaky and you just want to have a little bit of extra kick in your gun, that might not be a bad decision. But muzzle and compensator, it really depends on the gun. Single shots, like DMRs, etc., good for muzzle. Compensator, maybe on like on an operator like Ella, might be a good option. We can show that right now. I don't know what I had on there. A muzzle brake. Guns where you plan on full autoing like crazy anyways, but that first shot is gonna kick like a Bronco. So I just go first shot, and then I instantly pull it really hard, and then it's kind of laser beam. You just have to get used to it, and it's not too bad. Compensator can be good. Most of the time I will rock flash hider. Sights, we talked about. Grips. Horizontal grip, if you plan on getting up in that fight extremely fast, because remember, there's only a 5% increase versus 20% vertical recoil control. Like, what I just showed you was with the vertical control versus the horizontal grip. I mean, we'll show that one really quick. Starts to get a little out of control. I definitely can't control that nearly as well as I can with the vertical grip. But yeah, I mean, that's it for today, guys. I mean, honestly, up to you. But my rule of thumb, flash hider always, vertical grip always. Except on guns that have very little recoil, I might try extended barrel or a suppressor. Or for grips, if it has very little recoil, I could try, you know, maybe a horizontal grip if I plan on going in fast. I'm probably going to stay away from the angle grip personally, though. Maybe if you're an operator like Mozzie, you just want to reload your Roni slightly faster. That could be a good option. I mean, you're gonna go through mags on mags on mags as Mozzie, so. That's gonna make sense on Mozzie, but unless you have a gun like the Roni that's basically gonna go through mags instantly, it might be a walkthrough. But hope this helps you guys pick out what attaches you guys want to run in Rainbow Six Siege for Operation Deadly Omen. It was just kind of me, you know, talking about how I feel about each attachment, what they're good for, what could be the con of them, and basically just trying to help you guys make your decision. There is no right answer to running any attachment. There's one's not better than the other. Every single one has a pro and a con, because when you, let's say I use the vertical grip, I'm missing the movement speed, I'm missing the reload speed. Everything has a pro and a con. You have to choose what makes best for you and how you plan on playing throughout the round. Honestly, with Deadly Omen, I like it because it feels pretty fresh, and it makes me feel like I have to think about my loadout before I spawn in. What I plan on doing that round? Do I plan on being really aggressive? Do I plan on playing on sight? Do I plan on, like, you know, running around being sneaky? I could change my loadout multiple times just playing the same operator, just depending on how I want to play that round. All right, guys, make sure to comment, subscribe, leave a like down below for more. Peace out. Until next time.